I hope everyone had a really good time in their breakout sessions. My name again is Georgia Didier, and I'm the Director of Admission for the College of Performing Arts. And so we're kind of a small group. I'm going to go through some more questions and more specifics about applying to the programs. Each of our schools have a different application, slightly different application process. So I'll talk through all of the specifics of that. And we also have a representative here for the financial aid office. Her name is Kelsey Kuntz, sorry. And she's going to talk through some of the need-based aid that you can be eligible for. I will also touch on some of the merit aid and how that gets determined, and we can talk through specifics about cost of attendance and things like that. So I'm just going to start with an overview. Mannes School of Music is approximately 375 students. We have undergraduate and graduate programs. The School of Jazz is 270 students. That includes our dual degree students. So we have about 30 dual degree students in the School of Jazz. That's with Lang College. And then the School of Drama, our newest program, which is our BFA. And we also have an MFA program. The total student body is around 235 students. So we'll start with Mannes, and Mannes has a Bachelor of Music degree. You're gonna have to meet the requirements of about 100 or 129 credits. The master's degree is 36 to 42, and the professional studies diploma is 36 to 38 credits. And some of the components of the Bachelor of Music degree is your lessons with your major teacher, performance classes, techniques classes, humanities, and electives. Some of the majors at Mannes are listed here, as well as the concentration. So we break this out a little bit differently. Orchestral instruments also has concentration. So if you're a clarinet major, you're going to find your concentration in clarinet here listed. But these are all of the majors that you can basically be a part of at Mannes. So the application information, it starts with an application. You saw that earlier at the welcome. We are on the Common App. So if you are applying, you need to go to the Common application and click on the new school and choose Mannes College, College of Performing Arts / Mannes. If you are a cello, composition, flute, piano, violin, or voice major, you need to complete what's called a pre-screening recording. The deadline is the priority deadline. The main deadline is December 1 for the Mannes application, so it's a little earlier than the rest of the other undergraduate schools here at the new school. And you need to submit that pre-screening recording on December 1 as well. Pre-screening recording or scores if you're a composition student. About a month after you submit your pre-screening and your application, you'll get information as to when your audition or interview is. For pre-screening majors, you'll find out if you pass through pre-screening. If you're not a pre-screening major, you're going to get information on how to schedule or how to request a date for your live audition. We do live auditions. Most of our auditions are here at this school, here on campus. We do them at the end of February and the beginning of March. We also have video auditions for some students who will opt to do that. And we also have regional locations outside of the United States. We also require your official transcripts, so you need to make sure that your high school sends that to us. And we require 2 letters of recommendation. And if your English is not your first language, we require what's called a TOEFL score, or Test of English as a Foreign Language. And we also have a Mannes English placement test that you'll take at your audition if English is not your first language. We don't require SAT scores, just to reiterate that. You might have heard that earlier. We don't have a very set admissions process where we just look at your scores and your GPA and then decide if you're accepted or not. Based on that, we have this whole application that we're reading through. For some students, you'll have to take a musicianship placement exam if you're a theory major, a composition, or a conducting major, or if you're a transfer student. You'll take a placement exam in musicianship. That's ear training, dictation, or theory. So I always put this up here because I want you to be aware, if you are a transfer student, we do have transfer students. You can apply as a transfer student. And based on their placement tests and how many credits you have had in your current school, we can help you determine which year you would be placed into. And we can tell you that at the time of your acceptance. We have about 150 part-time faculty. Most are members of the New York Philharmonic, Metropolitan Opera, Orpheus Chamber Orchestra, prominent composers winning Grammy and Pulitzer Prize winners. How do you study with that teacher? You would list them on your application if you have a choice or already in mind. If you don't, you can leave it blank, but we ask you to at least acknowledge that we have that choice on your application. And then your application and audition will help determine which teacher you'll study with, and you'll be able to get that information shortly after your decision is sent out. This is just a snapshot of some of the ensembles that you have access to or be a part of: the orchestral program, the opera program, the chamber music program, the New Music Manus program, the Manus American Composers Ensemble, guitar ensemble. This is just a snapshot. There's actually more. But this is, you're going to perform a lot. You have a lot of performance ensembles to choose from. Again, Manus is now in its 100th year, which only comes around once. And to give you a little bit of history, Manus has been very well known throughout its 100-year history of a very rigorous education, training professional musicians for a long period of time, and also had a very rich history and reputation of being very rigorous in music theory and techniques, and we still are, all of those things. But we've actually done a revamp of our curriculum a few years ago called Manus in a New Key, and we added requirements. We wanted to look at what makes a musician in the 21st century. How are we preparing those students? What is in our curriculum that can be woven into when they're a professional? How do we help them launch their careers? And so we added requirements in entrepreneurship. We added minors. You have over 50 minors that you can choose from. You have opportunities in networking and grant programs, cutting-edge performances, professional performances, and also interdisciplinary studies here at the New School. So if you wanted to do minors or additional classes or double majors, we have those possibilities for you. So I'll talk a little bit about these three programs. I might play one of them. So we have the Marin Alsop Entrepreneurship Award. That's an award that you can win and receive grants if you have a project that involves entrepreneurial partnerships or a project that you want to pitch. You have to apply. You have to pitch your project. For lack of a better word or example, it's kind of like that show Shark Tank, where you have to pitch your project. But you can also win money and you can and make it happen. And so we have that possibility for you. Il Postino and Flight are our most two recent opera productions, and they were done in conjunction with the Parsons School of Design. The students at Parsons worked with the students at Manus to produce this opera, and they actually did the lighting design, they did the costumes, they did a lot of the visual aspects of the opera program. So that was pretty exciting. And then Happy End was a project that we did here at the College of Performing Arts. It's a musical theater production, and we had students from jazz, students from drama, and MANA students all producing that one set of performances. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the School of Jazz now. We have the Bachelor of Fine Arts, which is about 240 students. We have the Bachelor of Arts / Bachelor of Fine Arts dual degree, which is approximately 30 students. Now, if you're applying to one or the other, you have to fill out the application that's specific to these different programs. Programs of study are listed here. So you can study in an area of concentration or a program of study listed in one of these different areas. And the curriculum components are a little bit different depending on whether you're an instrumentalist or a vocalist, just slightly different. But the main part of your program is you're going to have proficiency lessons where you're going to take a lesson within your set major. So if you're a drum major, you're going to take proficiency lessons with either our full-time or core curriculum faculty, and you're going to, usually that takes 2 years of proficiency, not always, but you have to pass out of proficiency. Once you pass out of proficiency, you can take lessons with any number of our faculty. And if you were at our welcome session, you heard Emily talk a little bit about how she could study with lots of different faculty. And we have over 400 faculty members that you could choose from. Pretty much anyone that you can think of in the jazz or contemporary music programs, a jazz musician in New York City you can study with. We also have the performance classes, techniques classes, liberal arts classes, and recitals and electives. And that is the same for instrumentalists and vocalists. It's not that different. The vocal program does have slightly different classes that you'll take part of. The BA/BFA curriculum is a 5-year program, and you're going to have to complete 180 credits. It's about 18 credits a semester. Again, you're going to have proficiency lessons. You're going to meet all the requirements for the Bachelor of Fine Arts program, but you're going to interweave your liberal arts requirements into that 5 years. So it's, and you would have to apply for that most likely in your either now or in your freshman year in order to complete that. Again, this is just a very quick list. This isn't even everything. This is a list of all of the ensembles that you can choose to be a part of. We want you to be a part of these programs at Jazz, but we also want you to be, again, more entrepreneurial about your craft and your artistry. So we want you to sometimes create your own ensemble. Maybe not right away. Maybe you want to do that in your second year or third year. And we want you to be, because that's likely how you're going to make a living, is to be flexible, to be able to work in different genres, and to be able to work with different types of musicians. So, but this is an example of all of our ensembles. I'm going to talk through a little bit of the application instructions. Again, the Common App, you're going to choose College of Performing Arts /jazz. And then you're going to have to do a pre-screening recording. It's just one video recording that you need to submit at the time of your application, which is January 15th is our deadline. And that song recording should be accompanied with a rhythm section if possible. And you would need to choose one of our pieces from our repertoire list. And there's a link to that on our website. Our repertoire list has about 200 songs on it. So I'm sure you could find something that you know or can learn. Again, the Jazz and Contemporary Music program, the School of Jazz, is not just jazz, but we are rooted in the jazz education. So when you apply, you're going to do a jazz standard. You're going to do jazz music theory and improvisation, and then you're going to be encouraged to branch out after that. If jazz is wanting to be your focus, that's wonderful. If you want to do that in addition to other types of music and genres, that's great too. A lot of our graduates and alums do that. Audition and interview. So you're going to do a 15-minute audition if you pass the pre-screening round, and you're going to play with most of our auditions are here on campus, although we do have some regional auditions. We have a regional location in Paris and also Tel Aviv. You can also submit a video recording if you want, but I encourage you, especially since you're able to be here on campus today, to come and do a live audition. And our auditions are in February and March as well. Our audition is actually really fun, I think. I hope you do too. You're going to play with our students, current students in our program, and they're going to accompany you. And you're going to lead the band, and you're going to bring in your sheets. And the requirements for our audition are a ballad, a blues, and an up-tempo, for the most part. So you'll also have to submit your official transcripts from your high school or college if you've attended college, letters of recommendation, and again, if English is your second language, you're needing to send a TOEFL score. We do, again, plug, no SAT. Again, our transfer policy to jazz is a little bit different, but they're very doable. If you are a transfer student, you can do transfer in studio courses, music history courses, and liberal arts courses. Jazz is actually in its 30th year this year, so it's a really exciting year. Again, only comes around once. 100 years comes around once, 30 years comes around once. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of these projects. So we have an improvisational lab that is given by Jane Irabu and Joe Grafassi, and they actually teach improvisational techniques to all of the students in the College of Performing Arts. So drama students and jazz students and MANA students are all learning improvisational techniques, which is really cool. We also have some of our students, what are they doing? Well, one of our students is actually on The Tonight Show every once in a while, playing with the Roots. So they've been able to create professional opportunities for themselves, even though they're still in school. Many of our students do that. Some of our students are not, maybe they're not headlining the band just yet, but they're like touring with Beyonce. And they're in her band, which is pretty exciting and a pretty great opportunity for a professional musician. And so we help you in that process. We help you with professional performance opportunities with our gig office. You have to be careful and mindful that you are a student, so you have to make sure that you are completing all of the requirements in the program. And you also have an advisor who you can talk with about that. If you have a big project, sometimes taking a semester out is a better way to go. But you have an advisor you can speak to about that process. And then loft opera is another example. What is loft opera? I thought this was a jazz program. What are you talking about? Actually, two of our jazz student alums created an opera company called Loft Opera. And it's actually gotten reviews in the New York Times, very strong reviews. It's called Loft Opera because they do operas in Bushwick, Brooklyn, in lofts. And they sell beer, and they have, La Boheme. And they hire some of our current students and alums, but they actually started this themselves. And they didn't actually have an undergraduate degree in opera. They just have very, very strong musicals and entrepreneurial skills. So those are some examples of what you can do. And these are recent alums, actually. So I talked a little bit before about the core faculty and instrumental proficiency, the proficiency requirements. We also have the private instruction faculty, almost 400 and special guests and master classes. So we invite faculty in from all over, and we're lucky because we're here in New York City. So we get to invite people who are already coming here for different performances, and we have them come and do master classes, part of our program. I'm going to talk a little bit about the School of Drama now. The Bachelor of Fine Arts program is a 4-year program. We have about 175 students right now, and you need to complete 120 credits. We also have a Master of Fine Arts program, just so you know, and that's a 3-year program. We have about 60 students in that program. The BF program has a foundations courses in acting, directing, playwriting, creative technologies, and I know that Zach Kelly, who spoke, who's a current student at the Welcome Center, at the Welcome at 2 o'clock, at 1 o'clock, he's an acting major, an acting concentration. You can come in to our program as anything. You can be a director, you can be a writer, you can be an actor, you can have a sort of myriad of background. All that really means is that you're going to come in and do a concentration in those elements. You're going to take classes in all of them through the 4 years. We believe that you should be a very well-rounded theater artist and dramatic arts student. So if you're an actor, you're going to do a lot of acting foundation techniques, but you're also going to learn how to direct. You're also going to learn how to write. You're also going to learn how to use new technologies in theater performance, because that's going to make you a better actor, and it's going to make you a better director. It's going to make you a better writer. You're also going to take writing and literature courses and aesthetic inquiry courses. You're also going to do a portfolio and professional development project. So this is going to help you build your portfolio in your junior and senior year. And you also have showcase opportunities. And we also have this really cute, awesome, fun thing called the Creative Cafe, which is there's a 1 hour that's set aside, and there's no other classes that are set. It's Creative Cafe, and it's a required class. And what we want you to do is that to be a lab for creativity. We want you to work together as a student. We only have about 60 students in each incoming class. So it's a small school. We want you to work together, and we want you to be able to create your own projects. Again, being more entrepreneurial about your art and your performances. And our students actually do that, and they can pitch their idea of what they want to do, and they can actually get funding to make that project happen. This is very much encouraged by our administration and our faculty, and we back it up with funding for those projects and making it happen. And again, you can take electives as well. Talk a little bit about the application information. Common App again. You need to submit a portfolio submission for the dramatic arts program, and that consists of a photograph, a headshot usually, a statement of purpose, a 1-minute video of you being yourself. So there's no limits here. We just want to know who you are and what you're interested in and what you like and what you're focused on. Your artistic portfolio and your resume, which is optional. We will get that information, and we will send you information on how to sign up for your live audition. We do live auditions here on campus in January, February, and early March. We also do Skype auditions for students off campus or international students. Again, I encourage you to come to campus for your audition if you can. And then also, we have regional auditions. We are part of what's called the Unified Auditions for Dramatic Arts students, and those are regional places in New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. So we also have that option. We also require official transcripts, letters of recommendation, and again, English is your second language, the TOEFL score. We do have transfer students, although it would be taken on a case-by-case basis. So if you are a transfer student, we would need to look through your transcript and give you feedback on whether you can pass through to a certain semester, because we do have sequential requirements. I talked a little bit about showcases that you have available. We have a portfolio development class and then also showcases both in your junior and senior year. We have a professional development department to help you with that so that you can prepare to start to take auditions once you're outside of school. And then we also have a resource library that helps students to find opportunities in the theater community, mostly in New York, but also outside of New York. We have a lot of different faculty and visiting artists series. We have an interview series. We have artists in residence that come in, and we have labs and an artist equity guest series. Acting equity, I'm sorry. So we have some examples of what our graduates are doing. Jason Kim, who is a graduate. Also, just to let you know, this is our 4th year. We have seniors this year, but we don't have any alums in the Bachelor of Fine Arts program. So I couldn't tell you what our alums doing because we don't have any alums yet. We will have alums next year, but these are some of our alums from our MFA program. And Jason Kim is he's a writer and also does directing on the HBO series Girls. Benjamin Thies is in David Hare's Plenty at the Public Theater. Adrian Seymour is on the show on Netflix. Is it Netflix? It is Netflix, yeah. Orange is the New Black. And then Bradley Cooper, who I think most people know who he is. He's Oscar winner or nominee, I can't remember which, but a very, very, very famous and wonderful actor who went to the New School for Drama. We already went through this. So I'm going to actually finish my presentation. Again, my name is Georgia. This is my email address, or actually the main email address for the College of Performing Arts. I also have an associate director who's actually on the road in California right now. His name's Kevin Smith. And Ashley Leach, who you may have met in the jazz breakout session. Sam Byron, who is actually specializing in the drama program and was at the drama breakout session. Kelsey Mara, who's our office assistant, and Laura Conyers, who is actually our newest member of our staff, who literally started on Monday. We're all here to help you, and if you send us an email to performingarts@newschool.edu, we can answer any of your questions. Please remember that that's what we're here for. I'm going to actually ask our financial aid representative to come up and talk a little bit about the financial aid application process and what to expect there. So, thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kelsey Kuntz. I'm a financial aid counselor here at the New School. We are actually located over at 72 Fifth Avenue. That is our walk-in center. So we are available Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 4:45 p.m. You don't have to make an appointment. You can just stop by if you have any questions. So as Georgia stated, your admissions application is reviewed for a merit scholarship. What we review is the FAFSA information. So that is the free application for federal student aid, which is available to be completed now. So if you haven't done so, you still have time. It's best to have it completed before the priority deadline of March 1st. So it's not that you won't be awarded any aid, it's just better to have it in early rather than later to be able to receive all funding as possible. So what we do is review your eligibility for federal student aid, including federal loans, federal grants, and we also see if you're eligible for any institutional aid as well. So what you would receive from our department is an award letter. So if you're eligible for the merit scholarship, that will be listed on the award letter. And then you'll also have the federal aid and any additional institutional aid from need-based situations that would be offered to you. So after that, I know some people are a little nervous about getting federal loans, or what that means. It's not going to jail. It's there to help you. So, you can decide the amount you want. You don't have to take the full offered amount. Or if you have any questions about, here's my bill, here's what I've been offered, what next, you can come in and speak with us, and we can map out a plan about your external options. So that comes in the form of external scholarships that are listed on our website now that you can look into, and other payment plan options, and also other loans that the student might be eligible for. So if you have any questions about that, you can ask me. I'll be sitting right here in the front. And then I also have some pamphlets and information for you that you can take home and review. And again, our cards in case you have any additional questions. Alrighty. Thank you.
Thank you. So I want to give an ample opportunity for you to have some Q&A about the application process, the admissions process, or financial aid, either merit scholarships or need-based aid. So if you have any questions, just raise your hand or no? Okay. Is there any questions that you have about the program I can cover for you? Yeah.
But once he completes the application at Common App and the FAFSA is sent in, about how much time would we know what kind of aid is available or scholarship?
Oh, okay. So if he applies for the program, there'll be some processing, obviously, for the either pre-screening requirement or audition requirement. So once that's all completed, we do request that you get your FAFSA in by March 1st, right? March 1st is the deadline. We send out the decisions in late March usually, and right as she noted before, you would know if you got a merit scholarship, which is based primarily on the application materials. So that includes your transcripts, your grades, your essay, your audition, and you'll know that. And then shortly after, you would get your financial aid award letter, which would list out whatever grants, loans, or work study that you're eligible for. Is that correct?
Correct. So federal work study and any additional grants come through an official award letter. So it has merit scholarship at the top and then other following.
Because after everything, auditions and everything else are done.
Yeah, it's actually listed in the decision information. So if you're accepted, yay, congratulations. You'll get information on whether you got a merit scholarship, and then shortly after that, you'll get information on what other need-based aid. And this is all calculated right on the cost of attendance, right?
Correct. So if you're filling for as long as your application is for that first priority deadline, because it's for every country you're eligible for. So phase one.
Do you want to come up here, because there's a live stream audience, so they may not be able to hear you.
That's right. So if your FAFSA application is in by March 1st, we still review you for all the eligible aid that you're going to be eligible for. So it's not that we won't take anything away from you because you're waiting for other things, but it'll come to you, to the student actually, through email as an official award letter. And then we can have the conversation about what's next and what aid is going to mean what towards the account. But federal work study is included in that. That is a federal fund. Okay.
And merit aid is decided without the information about your need. So it's based primarily all on your application materials.
And also, can you hear me? If I just stop right here.
They can't back you.
You know, we do understand that situations happen. So if you complete your FAFSA and something drastically changes, you know, God forbid somebody loses their job or a circumstance comes up, you can certainly, and I would recommend you come speak to our department about further information about what we can do to help, because we are there for those services as well. So if something happens, just please come speak with us. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you suggest in this case? If a student applied, let's say this current year in March, hoping to have started school this September, but for unfortunate reasons it did not happen. Does the how do they reapply again, using the same username and whatever password going into the system again and starting this as a brand new application, or would the previous information put in be there already? Does it get erased totally, or?
We take your new application from beginning. So if you applied in the previous year and you had a decision that you were not admitted, and you applied again this year, we're not going to look at last year's.
No, there was no decision.
Oh, okay.
And maybe it didn't continue. There was
Oh,
maybe something else to be added on to.
yeah.
A second recommendation letter or whatever reason.
You would have to do the application over again. So you'd have to resubmit your transcripts. You'd have to resubmit your recommendation letters, especially because it's this new cycle, this new year for fall 2017 instead of fall 2016. Other questions about applying? Well, again, thank you so much for coming today. I'm so happy to see all of you. I'm so happy to answer any questions as you go through this process. I hope you've gotten a really good sense of what it's like to be a student here at the New School and in the College of Performing Arts. And I hope to see you on campus either for your audition or in the fall. Thank you.